The fight over customers is leading to cutthroat tactics at Seattle's cruise ship terminal as drivers for hire say they're being undercut by independent operators who swoop in on their passengers. KOMO's Joel Marino's live with what people might be risking when lured in by a cheaper ride. Joel?
Mary, the professional drivers, they say they're up against a group of hustlers who try to steal their clients and may not deliver the level of service that many customers have come to expect. Cruise ships tie up 6 days a week in Seattle during the summer season, and there is fierce competition among drivers for customers who need to get to hotels or even the airport. Well, when passengers disembark, they head down Terminal 91 to where their pre-scheduled rideshare driver is supposed to pick them up. The drivers will be waiting generally at a cell phone lot nearby, and it'll take them a few minutes to drive over. But it's during that time, they say, that their passengers are lured away by independent contractors who offer discount rides but lack the proper insurance or credentials.
In the meantime, there is a hustlers over there. They said you book your ride from Uber, you book your ride for Lyft, they charge you more. We can drop you with 60 bucks. When we able to reach over there, the rider cancel the ride.
The problem is that like once they get to the airport, then they're like, give me $300, and the people are like, well, we got quoted a couple $100.
Well, professional drivers have a lot of overhead costs. They pay for commercial insurance, limo licenses, and other permits, as well as vehicle inspections that they say these independent drivers don't even bother with. Now, as a result, these professional drivers say they are losing business, and they're also seeing the reputations of their companies tarnished when these passengers aren't sure who is picking them up. Mary?
Well, Joel, what does the port have to say about this, and how much oversight are they providing?
Well, we reached out to the port. The spokesperson says that they are aware of these complaints and they try to crack down when they can. They say, though, that the actual inspectors who issue any tickets out here at the terminal, those are actually outsourced to the city of Seattle. So we reached out to the city of Seattle, and we're waiting to hear back on exactly what they're doing about these complaints.
Tonight on the Deep End, there's a battle brewing between drivers at Seattle's cruise ship terminal over finding customers. Mary Nam joins us tonight. Mary, as people look to save money on cheaper rides, there could be some dangerous side effects of using independent drivers.
Well, that's right, and that's why they're issuing the warning now. It's the middle of cruise season, and competition for customers is heating up. I talked to Joel Marino, who shares the struggle of rideshare drivers who say their customers are being stolen.
These are professional drivers who are being undercut by what they term hustlers. But these professional drivers, they go through a lot of things. They get commercial insurance, which can cost them, they're telling me, $1,000 a month. They get their limo license. They get the necessary permits to work through Lyft or Uber. And then they all follow a set of rules where, we've all used the app on our phones to order up one of these drivers, and they get in a line, a queue, waiting for their turn to come up next. And these rogue drivers, they will drive through the security checkpoint at the terminal, the cruise ship terminal, just saying, well, I've got a passenger waiting for me to pick them up. And they don't have anybody, according to these professional drivers. But they go in there and then they try to offer discount rates. They're saying, oh, cancel that Uber trip, cancel that Lyft trip. I'll take you to the airport for $60, not the $90 to $100 that they're going to charge you. And these drivers are pretty frustrated about how much business they're losing.
We're in the middle of cruise season now in Seattle. How big of a problem is this?
Well, those cruise ships are coming in 6 days a week, and these professional drivers say this is happening daily. They do file complaints with the Port of Seattle, and in checking with the port and their contract service workers who actually are inspectors with the city of Seattle, they're aware of the complaints and they try to address them, but they say they just can't catch everything. And the drivers think a better job could be done about that, because sometimes they say that they're waiting at the cell phone lot for their pre-scheduled passenger to give them a call, and it can be hours before they even get any business because these passengers are being picked off one by one. So it's a troublesome thing. I mean, these rogue drivers are trying to make money too, but a lot of times they're taking advantage of these customers. There were stories of even them going to the airport for a fare, and then holding the luggage hostage and demanding more money in payment. And when you're dealing with a rogue driver, there's not like a company like Lyft you can call and complain.
I was just going to ask you, Joel, are these other rogue drivers? I mean, do they work for these same companies as well?
You know, I didn't actually interview any of these alleged hustlers face to face, so I don't know exactly what they've got. But if from the descriptions I'm getting from multiple drivers who I've talked to about this, multiple professional drivers, is that they don't bother with these things because they'd rather get paid under the table, and they're just doing their best to hawk their services on the spot with discounted prices. They don't have the overhead that these other drivers have with vehicle inspections and commercial insurance payments and all those things. They're getting by with whatever they got and whatever kind of car they're in.
Joel, to your knowledge, is the port responsible for preventing this type of thing from even happening? I mean, is there any oversight happening currently?
So they do have a checkpoint, and there's a designated area for the Lyft and Uber drivers to line up in. And the port is supposed to check their phone, the driver's phone, to make sure that they've got a fare, scheduled to go in there. But it can be a little loose sometimes, and sometimes they just go with word of mouth. And the driver will say, "I'm here for someone," when they're not. And then they just try to scoop up whoever they can, is what these professional drivers are saying. Whereas a lot of times they're waiting over in the cell phone lot so they don't clog up the line. And they only come over when their passenger, their pre-scheduled fare is ready to go. And then they lose out entirely because they've already been picked up.
It sounds like there's no real way to prevent this kind of thing from happening, I mean, for the rest of the summer. So what is the official advice for tourists, for visitors who are using rideshare in Seattle at the terminal?
Well, I heard back from the spokesperson for the city of Seattle who oversees these inspectors who actually will issue the tickets. And their bottom line advice to passengers is to only accept rides from known companies, to pre-schedule your ride if you can, and to only get in the cars with those people because you just don't know what you're in for if you go with somebody hawking a discount.
All right. Joel Marino, thanks so much.
Thanks, Mary.
Mary, it's just another thing you got to worry about. Is the port doing anything to try to limit this at all?
Joel says the city of Seattle has its own inspectors at the terminal, and they do issue citations when appropriate.
All right. Mary, thank you very much.